The number one question I've been getting asked is, will there be more snow this winter? So, in this video, we're going to break that down. What's up, guys? I'm meteorologist Jonathan Kegges, and we talk and track all things weather. We're going to start with the short-term outlook and then broaden our scope into the middle and latter stages of February, and then we will fast forward into the early part of March. That's when things start to look a little interesting, so stick around for that. All right, so in the short term, winter is going to make a comeback in the west. These are the anomalies a couple thousand feet above our heads in the temperature department, and where you see this core of the blue, a little bit of purple there, and green, that's what we're expecting temperatures to be below normal. This is going to be through the upcoming weekend. That's going to put us towards February 9th, 10th, and 11th. Note the blowtorch, though, returning very warm temperatures, at least relative to normal, coming back into the east, specifically the northeast. So after our round of polar air that blasted through the northern tier of the northeast, we are going to thaw out very, very quickly. So watch what happens coming into the weekend. We're going to have this nice mini blast of cold air work its way into the deep south now. So this is going to be on Saturday, February 11th, quite cold relative to normal from Texas into parts of the deep south. Still hanging on to some warmth in the northeast. Then we get some of that cold to push east. There's really nothing to write home about this cold. There's going to be moisture with it, but it's not going to meet up in time. So we're not talking about a big storm through the 95 corridor. I do think we could get some snow into interior New England, again, where the winter has focused in parts of the northeast. And then you see, relative to normal, a nice little blast of cold for parts of the southeast as well this upcoming weekend. If you are enjoying this video, do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button. It really does help me out a lot. We are fast forwarding now through the middle of February. The theme is really the same. Colder than normal temperatures will continue in the west. We're going to keep that blowtorch rolling more often than not in the northeast. Now, this doesn't mean that we can't get short-lived bouts of winter weather as we look over the long range here, but more often than not, we are going to see the warmth continue in the northeast and the cold continue. The pattern looks like this. When you have the colder air out in the west, you have that dip in the jet stream extending down towards Mexico into Texas. Then the ridge extends well into New England and southern Canada. That allows that warmth to continue to surge up from the south. This is not the pattern you look for if you are rooting for snow along the I-95 corridor in the northeast. Certainly a stormy and cold pattern will continue for us out west. Again, that is going to be good news in the short term and long term for drought-busting precip as that snow melts as we get into spring out west. We are now going to venture out into that interesting time frame from late February into early March. If you're still with me, I would love to know if you're rooting for snow or if you just want the warm weather to get here. Post that in the comments below. We talked early on, way back in November, when we issued our first winter outlook. I talked about I didn't think this was the right winter for a big winter in coastal New England. So far, as you all know, largely that has come into fruition. I think, though, we do have one shot to go out with a bang. This is fast forwarding out to February 25th through March 7th. This has been the pattern winter lovers in the east have been waiting for. Warmer than normal temperatures out west. There's our Boise Ridge. Trough in the east. These climate models do continue to flip-flop because of one thing that I will get to in just one second. But if this comes into fruition, look at all the cold up into Canada. That would be something that dislodges into the south. If we had a storm down here to play with, we could get something juicy to ride up the coast. So it's at least the right pattern according to this climate model. Now, there's a caveat here. We will have the opportunity as we get into the middle of February for something to occur known as a sudden stratospheric warming event. Well, what the heck is that? Every now and then, a couple times a winter, the stratosphere suddenly warms up. That messes up the stratospheric polar vortex, and sometimes its impacts can reach the surface, displacing the polar jet stream that we are accustomed to, that drives the colder air versus the warmer air in the lower 48 and parts of North America. If that does happen, and we'll see that through the next 10 to 15 days or so, we could have the opportunity for that cold to come blasting through when we do get these sudden stratospheric warming events that impact the troposphere where humans live. we have the opportunity for a lot of cold and a lot of snow. So I'm telling you, there's a chance. A lot of this is going to depend on the next 2 weeks. If we do see that sudden stratospheric warming event actually take place, that will no doubt help our chances in the east to get some cold and snow to arrive. There's still a lot of questions about that, but if we get a pattern that looks like some of those long-range models are suggesting, certainly we're going to have a shot to get a decent snowstorm in the Northeast, more specifically along the coast. Again, that is one final shot there. We're going to keep you posted as we move through the middle of February and watch and wait if we're not only going to get that sudden stratospheric warming event, but if it does translate to the surface. Again, we'll keep it posted. If you enjoyed this video, if you love talking and tracking the weather, we'd love to have you on board. Please hit that subscribe button. Also, stick around and watch the videos that pop up because that's what YouTube thinks that you'll like.